Good morning, you guys. Welcome to the Hot as Fuck podcast. I am your host, Samantha Nivens, and I hope you guys had an incredible start to the new year. Happy New Year. It is Monday, January 6th, 2025, when I'm recording this. I said it's a Monday. I'm feeling so lit up and excited for this year already. And I also am a Monday person. You guys, I'm a Monday girl all the way. I love it. I have so much energy. I get so much done on a Monday. So if that's not you, or if you need that little fire, come see me any Monday. Okay. I'm going to bring it. I'm ready for it. And this is so beautiful. I'm so excited because we are in a fresh start here, fresh start with the Hot as Fuck podcast. And so you guys are going to get the tips and tools and these incredible guest interviews that I have coming up for us to get hot as fuck. Like, I don't think I really need to explain that. So many people, we just get and we know what that is, right? So your hot as fuck body, your life, and all of the things that encompass that, right? Okay. So let's dive into today's episode. I really want to just get right down to this. So today I'm going to share my words of the year, what has come up for me, and how I'll be using those and how I came up with those. And then I want you guys to be able to do the same. I want to share how you can find your word or words of the year, and then how and why you'll be using those throughout the year, what that actually means and looks like. Okay, you guys ready? Let's do this. Okay, so my words for this year in 2025 are, I have 4 of them. Okay, intentional, deep, unleashed, and real. Those are my 4 words that are going to essentially think of it like, I like to say sometimes in coaching, like think of it like an umbrella. Like from this North Star umbrella is intentional, deep, unleashed, real, hot as fuck life and brand, right? And whatever other goals I have, those are under this, those are the umbrella. That's my North Star. And all my choices that would fall within under that umbrella stem from these words, stem from my goals and vision, right? So that's how I even like, just to give you a good visual from the start, that's how I think about these words. Okay. Okay. So what do these mean to me and how did it? So these words, I actually came up with mine. It was in December and they came to me. And I want to offer how they came to me so you guys can do the same for you. These are not words that I just like Googled or I listened to a podcast and somebody tossed out like 10 different examples for me. They came to me like soul alignment, right? Like, you know, when those things happen in your life and you're just like, yep, that was for me. Thank you, God. Like these words are for me. Okay. And how did they come to me? So they came to me because I was journaling, did a lot of reflection and evaluation in December on my 2024. And to be honest, I'm 39. I'm going to be 40 this year. And so I also reflected over the last decade of like where I was at and what I got to. I reflected on the last 4 years of my business because it's been and will be a very pivotal time for me in my business moving forward. So that felt like a major shift. There was like that whole chunk that was like had me really be like, oh, this is where I was and this is who I am moving forward and where I'm going. And these words just bloop, 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 came to me. Okay. So I want to offer for you with finding your words, what that looks like is giving yourself some white space time, essentially. That could be journaling. And in your journaling, what you can do is to evaluate your 2024 or your last year or last 4 years or 10 years, whatever time frame feels really like profound to you, right? Maybe it's like, oh, you had a baby 2 years ago. So now you're like, you have this toddler and you're finally kind of coming out of it. And you're like, oh, okay. Right. So whatever significant amount of time frame that you want to evaluate on and journal on to see like this is where you were. And then part 2 is you can journal on where do you want to go? Like, what are your vision and goals? These words also would not have come to me if I didn't already know and have a very clear vision and goals for my 2025 and beyond. Honestly, it's for this year, these next 3 years, and this next decade. Like, that's what I've been looking at ahead. So if I did not have a clear vision and know what that was going to look like overall, then I also wouldn't have come up with these words. So I would offer to journal on those or just think on those if you're not a journaler. And then also, however you want to hold that white space time. If that's journaling, that could be going for a walk. I love to do intuition walks where I just, set the phone down unless I'm going to make a note because something profound comes to me. But otherwise, I'm walking without intention. I'm walking without intention, meaning like I don't allow the like, oh, this is what I have to do. I have to do this later. I have to pick up the kids and then I have to go do this. Nope. It's like, I turn it all off and I just let my intuition, I just walk, breathe, and see what comes to me. I turn off all the noise. I shouldn't say I'm unintentional. I'm very intentional about turning off all the noise to do an intuition walk. You can just be like 10, 15 minutes, just where you can, and I like to do this first thing in the morning, but you could do it any time of day when you feel you're least likely to be like antsy and itchy about like going after your phone or doing something. Okay. And then I also just want to offer, like, as you're looking to find your words, give yourself grace. Like, it's okay if you don't have it right now in January. We started the new year. You guys could be listening to this podcast a month from now. You could be listening to it in February 15th or June 7th. I don't know. But either way, it doesn't matter. What matters is just that you do the work. Okay. If this is something that you're here, it is. Because if you clicked on this podcast and you're like, oh, this is resonating with me, just what matters is you do the work. It doesn't matter what day it is, if the year has started, if the month has started, if it's the middle of the week, and just give yourself grace. Okay. And then I also want to offer, I have 4 words. Those are the ones that came to me. There is no right or wrong. Some people have 1 word of the year, right? They're just like, that's the 1 word. I saw this woman's post, a friend of mine, she had put her word of last year was worthy. So she had this whole post about being worthy and what that meant for her and how that played out. So you could have 1 word, you could have 2 words, you could have 5 words, right? I would encourage you not to get too carried away because then that becomes a lot. So you think and allow yourself what comes to you, right? These are what came to me, all 4 of these. Okay. All right. So how to use your words of the year once you have them. So the first one is, like I said, this is going to be these words you're going to use. And you don't have to use every, kind of just like that last note, you don't have to use every word for every situation and circumstance, right? I don't have to necessarily be like deep, intentional, unleashed, and real all at once to do something, right? I have all these 4 words because they're going to guide me in the choices that I make overall. Some choices, maybe like the choices for my business, and I'm going to give you guys like the real on like why I chose these words and what they mean to me, but like intentional. Like I am and have been very, very fucking intentional about the goals that I have this year, about what I want my life to look like, and then that comes down to like, okay, there's these goals, and that means what I say yes or no to. I'm very intentional about that, and I will be. So if I'm saying yes to something, it's like a hell yes for me. It's not a like, okay, I can do that. Like, oh, that sounds okay. It's not that. That's not intentional. I'm like intentional AF is where I'm at. Like, it's either a hell yes or it's a no. I know what I want so fucking deeply this year that if it's not overall within that, I will allow for some magic, right? Like if I got, I don't know, invited to a football game this fall that was not on the books, like I would make an intentional choice to most likely be like, fuck yeah, I want to go to that game. Yeah. Right. Like if me and Lawson were like, oh, we want to go to a Cowboys game randomly. He loves the Cowboys, not the Packers, by the way, which is unfortunate for our Packers family, but it's okay. But like I would make space for that, right? But I'd be very intentional because I'm like, yeah, I want to have more time with my boys this year. And I shouldn't say that. I'm like, it's not necessarily about having more time. I want to have more quality experiences with them this year. It's not about the time. So that might be something I say yes to very intentionally, right? But if like somebody invites me out for coffee or there's this one event that like I maybe quote unquote should go to or should do or would be nice to do, but like I have got these goals and visions, I'm going to be intentional and do those. Okay. So these for you guys, these are your words that are going to guide your choices as for the vision and goals that you have for this year. That is what they are here for. And you can use one at a time to guide that, like we just talked about the intentional, or it could be all of them, right? Or it could be a mix of the two. Don't get caught up in that. You just want to use them simply to guide you, right? With the choices that you make. I even like to, and I've been using this analogy of like, it's like you're putting on this suit, right? Like even the hot as fuck life and your hot as fuck body. Like when we are thinking as a hot as fuck woman or king or man, and we are like, ooh, I'm going to be hot as fuck today when I get dressed and when I walk around in this world. It's like you're putting on this suit. Maybe you don't have that where you want to be in the end yet, but we're going to put on this suit, this alter ego of like being hot as fuck today. So these words, you get to put on this suit within that hot as fuck life and body that are intentional, deep, unleashed, real, or whatever your words are. So then when we're making choices, we make choices from those words because they mean so much to us. They are defining of how we want to show up in this world this year, today. So that's how you can think of them. This is how you respond to things in your life. This is how you plan for things in your life. This is how you show up, is from these words, right? So I'm going to show up very intentionally. I'm going to show up because I want depth this year. I want deep relationships. I want to go deep with my clients. I want to go deep with my boys and my relationship with them. I want to go deep in my business and know so much and gain so many skills and have so much depth in knowledge, meaning like I know how to do these things in my business, right? I want depth. That's how I'm going to show up for my business, for my boys, for my life, for my body. That's another one. I want depth in my results. I don't want the quick fix, like wham, bam, thank you, ma'am type things. Not that that's ever been me, but like I want to go deep on strength training in this next couple years and really see what I can do. And I know I'm getting results right now. And I know I want to go deeper. I want to read the books on the muscles and really how do I activate them. I want to go deep in knowing that. And it's not just like, yeah, here's a workout, right? Since I'm going on this unleashed is how I'm going to show up in this world this year. You guys have already seen it. The Hottest Fuck brand podcast, all the things, the Hottest Fuck membership. Like we going this year, right? Unleashed. I'm going to be unapologetic. I'm showing up as unapologetic as possible, authentic. Like all of that's kind of encapsulated, like unleashed. Like I'm going to say the shit. I'm going to be speaking up more than ever before. These are some of the things that came to me that allowed me to like, whoa, unleashed. Was because I was like, I'm going to fucking speak up. I'm going to show up more than ever before as myself more than ever before. Like all of those things to me equaled unleashed. So that's how I'm going to show up. I'm going to show up unleashed. Okay. And then real. Like that one too was like I had been trying in my business a lot to like really like strategy and this very like have to be this way, not like consciously even, you guys. Like it was just more like this is how you have to do things. So this is how you show up. And I got away from my own roots. I got away from trusting myself. I got away from what I know so much and where I can show up and shine best and brightest. I got away from myself a lot, and personally too. And so I came back to myself in 2024 and I started to do that inner work. I left relationships that did not serve me. And I have done so much inner work that I'm like, I just want to like connect with people this year. I want to get back. I want to be so fucking real with you guys and in general, in my coaching, in my life, like in how I show up, like real meaning like vulnerable and like the real, like taking you guys behind the scenes. You're going to get a lot, you're going to see a lot of those podcasts this year of like behind the scenes, what's going on as I actually have the next podcast is, or within the next week here or two, is where I'm at in my training, being 2 months in, like sharing the real of what that's looked like, not just like, here's it, like I'm going good and this is great. And why don't you guys go great? Like I want to share like the ups, downs, the whole of it all, right? And the lessons that I'm learning for you guys. Real also in like, I want to just have real conversations and real connections. I generally do that, but like the other day, even this is how that looked. And I feel like real in depth kind of are together here. But I was walking into the gym, saw my friend Kelly, who we've known each other for years at the gym. I used to teach classes that she would take, but I don't teach those anymore. So we just kind of will see each other in passing at times. We both happened to be walking in on a Sunday morning at like 10 a.m. So it was super slow. I wasn't in a rush. Neither was she. We said hello. And instead of just being like, oh, hey, how's it going? Good, bye. I was like, hey, how are you? Like we both slowed down to stop. We ended up having like this beautiful, amazing 15-minute conversation. And then I was like, this needs to be a podcast because I want to have these real conversations with other real women and men that have something to say and not in the like, let me tell you how to do this and build this business and let me tell you all the highlights and let me tell you the like 5 bullet points, but just like a real fucking combo. Like, you know, like when you're talking with your girls or you're having those deep conversations that just flow and you're like, oh my God, yes. And we're just, yes, like real stuff. That's what I want this year too. I want more real things, more real people, real relationships, conversations. I want that. Okay. So that is the long of like, that's what it looks like. So those are some examples of my words of how that looks like to show up is I'm making really intentional goals and then I have intentional plans from those, being very intentional about my time, where I spend that, what I say yes or no to. I'm going deep on my relationships. And so even what that looks like is like making time to call the friends or family, making time for the coffee dates there. I want to go deep in these relationships that I have with my sisters. And I'm going to go deep in my business, like with learning the skills and things I need to learn this year, unleashed and real. So that's what that means to use your word of the year. That's what it looks like, how I'm going to start to use my words of the year. So last thing I want to say about these is, okay, so you've done this, you have your word or words of the year, you know what they're for, you're going to start using them today, okay? And I would really offer that when you guys listen to this. I was listening to a podcast this morning and I was like, oh, yes, yes. And it's going to be a part of the Hot as Fuck membership, or you guys might get a podcast on it. And that is like, stop consuming. Stop just listening to anything I say or anyone else says, a module you're in, a program you're in, a coach you have. For the love of God, stop just listening and consuming and start doing. Like that day. And I say this with so much love. And if you aren't doing, come get coaching, right? Like that's what you need to come get coaching on and figure out like why you aren't doing, and we can unravel that some more. But whatever coaching you get from there, you do it, right? It's like reading about and planning about and thinking about, well, this is how I should do this, or this is how I should do that. And well, maybe I should do this. Oh, and then before you even do anything, you change plans. And you're like, no, that's not going to work. And you didn't even do anything. You guys, if you take something away from this podcast other than words, it is when you hear something, literally do it. Don't consume again until you do it, right? And we're human. We're not perfect, right? I'm not perfect in doing this either, you guys, right? But do something. So like if you don't have your words yet, okay, then do an intuition walk for 10 minutes today. Go do that. Don't just say, I'm going to do it and then save it or if today's not the day, put it on your calendar for Tuesday or for Saturday or for whatever day, right? Do something with what you're hearing here. And then once you have your word, or if you're like, nope, I got my word, Samantha, great. What are you doing today to show up as yourself with that word, right? What is that today? Intentional. Yesterday, I got my lift session in Sunday morning when I have my boys, and normally I don't have someone to help me here at the house. So I asked their dad, like, can you watch the boys for a couple hours intentionally so I could get my last lift session in? I did not just say, well, I'll just do it tomorrow, do it Monday morning, even though I could have definitely moved it off there. But I said, nope, this is the end of my week. I have one more lift to get in. I was very intentional about reaching out to find help. And if he couldn't do it, I was going to find someone else. Right. And I was very intentional about what I ate and drank that morning so that I could be ready and have the energy to go lift. So I wasn't just like, ugh, I'm gonna go to the gym. I was already, when I woke up that morning, I was thinking in my head, I'm gonna go lift. My ass is gonna be twice the size it is this year. Ooh, like I was already in my mindset saying positive things and intentional thoughts. I reached out like first decent hour thing to ask for that support. I ate a good breakfast and had some good fuel beforehand. Yes, I was very intentional. That's something I did just yesterday, right? I'm being intentional right now, recording this podcast for you guys, because I am very intentional about getting a podcast out once a week to you guys, if not more, but at least once a week. So here I am Monday morning recording this podcast. Got plenty of work to do today. Got a whole list full, but this is the number one thing today. Right? So use your words, do the thing that you want to do today. And I promise it will compound and change your life more than you know. Instead of like consuming, do. Consume, then do. Consume, then do. Over and over. Okay. Ooh, you got a little spicy. You got some extra lessons in today's episode. So those are my words for this year in 2025, how you guys can create your words of the year and how to use them to guide yourself through this year or whatever time that you're listening to this. Okay. I hope this is helpful. If you guys have any questions, if you want to touch base, your girl, we're going deep here. We're going intentional, right? I want real conversations. Come find me. I'm on Instagram at Samantha Nivens. You can also, you can find me on Facebook. I'm just same name, Samantha Nivens. DM me, let me know your words of the year, connect. I want to hear from you guys. Did you love this episode? What episodes do you want to hear more of? I have a lot planned for this year. There's a lot to come for you guys. I have like podcast episodes listed for days. Okay. Last thing I want to say here to you guys is the Hot as Fuck membership is open. It launched January 1st and we are now open. And the first 10 queens, the first 10 women that get inside are going to get it at a bonus rate, save $2,000 and get a bonus call with me. You have until January 31st to do that. Okay. And there are already 2 spots taken. So there's actually only 8 left. And this will not be offered like this again. This is just for my OGs because we just launched. So if you are interested, then DM me on Instagram also, and I will send you the link with all the details, or we can just have a conversation there or hop on a phone call to talk more. But if that is just like calling you and lights you up and you're like, yeah, I want to get hot as fuck. And all the things that means to you is what we're going to work on. And we can talk about that too. Okay. But it is open. It is live. It is ready for you. This is your year to get hot as fuck while you go after these big vision, dreams, and goals. All right, you guys, We'll see you again soon. Bye.